Welcome to Corona Stories from Observing the Process. I'm your host, Alex Greenberg. And before we start, I'm hoping you can help me out by supporting the show. You can do this by going to my website, observingtheprocess.com. For just $5 a month or $50 for the year, you can become a monthly supporter. This show relies on listener support to stay on the air. So if you find this content valuable, I hope you will consider subscribing. You can find a link to subscribe in the description of this podcast. If you can't support monthly, no worries. You can help out by rating and reviewing on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. You can share it with your friends, you can blog about it, or discuss it on your own podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you for supporting the show. Listeners like you make it possible. If you are looking for information on how to protect yourself and stay safe from COVID-19, please get information from the CDC or the World Health Organization. Today on the show, I had Elina Kim. Elina is a medical student based in Shanghai, but from Kazakhstan. Please welcome Elina Kim.
In the land of China, people hardly got nothing at all.
No possessions?
And in China, they never go to church.
No religion too?
Or do magic.
Well, it's easy if you try, Dick.
Hello.
Hey, Elina, how are you doing?
Oh, great. Well, more or less.
More or less, yeah, I believe it. Yeah, before we start, do you think you could take a moment to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're based, what you do for work, that kind of stuff?
Well, my name is Elina. I am Korean, but I'm from Kazakhstan. I don't speak Korean. No relation to Korea, just my blood. I'm a medical student in Shanghai on my 6th year. So I'm just doing, I'm supposed to be doing my internship my last 3 months, but it's been suspended. So I'm just home.
Right. So you're back in Kazakhstan at the moment.
Yes. Haven't seen my family for 2 years. I've been planning to go back for so long and finally got a chance. I was actually very lucky to get in here in time.
Okay, so
they closed.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. Let's kind of start off with when and how did you first hear about the coronavirus? What I'm pretty interested in specifically is that since you're a medical student, kind of your perspective as a medical student when you first heard about the COVID-19.
You know, it's funny because I'm in the hospital every day. I'm there before doctors come. I like to be there earlier. And nobody told me a single thing. Well, just in general, doctors prefer not to talk to me. And I just read in WeChat. I think it was Shanghaiist.
Yeah, I'm aware of Shanghaiist.
Yeah. I get all my news from there. Honestly, I'm not that person who reads news every morning while drinking coffee. I just saw it. I was like, okay.
So it didn't feel like that big of a deal when you're first hearing about it. It's more just kind of like, for people who don't know, Shanghaiist is, its sister company is Gothamist for New York. It's not like necessarily the most cutting edge news. There's just information, kind of like clickbaity stuff sometimes, but it definitely has decent information as well.
I don't know whether I can trust that information.
Yeah, no, it's fine information.
Something.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so okay, so you're in Shanghai, you hear about this, and at what point does it start to, change your daily life? Like at first it's just news, but then tell me about the progression, what it felt like to be in Shanghai when this is all happening.
Oh, well, for me, it was very abrupt because I just had this thought about taking metro, and I hate taking metro. I just hate, being there, touch things, people touching you. I don't know, it's not me.
Mm.
And the same minute I got a message from my teacher that my internship has been suspended until further notice. That never came. And I was so relieved. Honestly, I just needed some sleep.
Mm.
But then just a few weeks after that, I was thinking about my graduation because I was supposed to graduate in about 3 months after that. And it hit me that I won't be able to finish my internship, take my tests, collect all those documents that you need for your master's, and actually pick the country, the university, even pick my profession. I'm still not sure where I want to go from now on. And I just don't have time. I'm losing at least a year now.
So
because of that. And
this whole becoming, like, your medical internship is in relation to medical school as well. Like, you're a medical student. So, and I see here you're a 6-year bachelor degree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 5th and 6th year, we are doing our internship. But still, like in the 5th year, it's not like that. You're just getting introduced to that. You're mostly observing. I got very lucky. I got to participate in a lot of surgeries, actually assist like a proper medical student. Not a lot of people got that lucky.
Yeah, what I found,
but we still had some classes.
What I found very interesting about your story is, like, you're so close to the end of your journey with your education, and it's all now very up in the air what's going to happen for the future. As so many people in this world, in whatever stage of their life are in, it's like we're all up in the air. But it's like, for example, you can compare it to the Olympics. You know, they've canceled, or they postponed it till 2021. Terrible. So, and now they have all this, 2020 merchandise and all these, like, all of Tokyo is, it's like an unknown. Like, this has never happened before. And I guess it relates to your situation. Like, this has never happened. They never had to fully just cancel, a student's internship till further notice.
People have been training.
Yeah, it's
the scary part is this until further notice, that you kind of waiting for every day, but at least I am scared to get it.
Yeah, until further notice.
I can't even think what I'm gonna do. I mean, what's gonna happen now? I'm gonna go back, finish those 3 months, take my test, and then what am I gonna do for the next year until I can apply for my master's degree? Especially because it's not in my home country. It's not like I can stay there for free and do nothing. I'll have to find a job of some sort. But when you don't do anything, when you're not working, you start forgetting stuff. I mean, I am forgetting stuff every day. And if I don't study, if I don't practice, and then I go to a hospital doing my residency, I think I'm just going to screw up.
Yeah, there's something very important about, once you get off of a rhythm, it's actually like it takes some time to get back into the groove of things. And when you're out of the loop, it's just like adding another layer to this whole problem.
Yeah, who's going to take a student from Kazakstan with a bachelor degree?
Well,
to the hospital.
Let's talk about so you are at this point where your internship is suspended, and you have to, I guess, do you have to make a decision? Did you have the chance to stay in Shanghai, or was it just kind of like obvious, like, I'm just going to go back to Kazakhstan?
I needed to see my family. It was suspended, and I just thought, oh, that's great. I'll just go home. I'll be with my family at least. But now I can't go back. My university, at least my university, sent another notice that we are not allowed to come back or we will be expelled.
Really?
They will cancel our visas and they're told that it's not just we will be suspended, they will cancel our visas. Another problem, my visa expires, I think about 10 days. No, less than that.
Oh, wow.
4 days. Yeah. And I can't, for me to apply for my residence permit, I need to pay for my school, get a letter from it, and then apply. I can't pay for my school because the office is closed. I can try a wire transfer, but I can't get a letter from my school because the office is closed. And I can't physically apply. Well, I can try from here, but it's going to be a big problem. Our teachers and I don't know, everybody in the university are saying that international students will have another month, that our visas will be extended for another month. But
yeah, I heard this from another friend
that
visas will be extended for 2 months, actually, for just all foreigners.
2 months.
That's what I heard from a friend. I'm not in Shanghai. I haven't been there for a little bit, but this is what I've heard, that visas will be extended for 2 months.
See, I am afraid that I will buy... by the way, I had to cancel my ticket back. I will have to buy a ticket, and I'm afraid that when I get to the border, they'll look at my passport, they'll look at my visa, and they'll just turn me around. You know?
Yeah, I mean, for people who have never been to China, or rather lived, a travel visa, tourist visas is not that complicated, but like you and I both know, work or student visas and residence permits, it all gets so confusing. And when you add on this layer of, the pandemic, it's like, everything is up in the air. It makes everything so unsettling and a difficult time for everyone.
It is.
Okay, so I want to jump into kind of getting back to Kazakhstan. And so when you got back, there were no cases. Like it's definitely probably not a topic of conversation in Kazakhstan. And kind of one of the major key points I want to hit with all of my guests for this series is how different cultures are handling the pandemic. So Kazakhstan, I'm very happy to talk to you because I know almost no one from Kazakhstan, and I'm happy to hear, what I want to know what kind of the experience has been in Kazakhstan as the situation develops. And you can also kind of compare that to your experience or what you hear through the grapevine about what's happening in China.
Well, I would say Kazakhstan's been preparing for the coronavirus to come to it. So the moment we were one of the first countries to close the border with China. And I'm pretty sure ever since then they were preparing. We got our first cases just maybe a week ago. And the same day they closed all schools. I remember reading this at about 10 p.m. And 10:05 maybe, there was another article about all schools, universities being closed, malls being closed, all public events canceled. And even the celebration of Nowruz, which is our New Year, it's a big thing here, and they cancel it. My mom was heartbroken. But I really like the way they did it here because they were already prepared a whole hospital only for coronavirus cases. We have an emergency line where you can call, and you don't have to go anywhere. The main thing is you just stay home. You call, you wait for the doctors to come to you. They test you. If you are sick, but you are stable, they'll just leave you home. Well, of course, they're going to constantly call you and check on you. And if you are sick and you're in a critical condition, they will take you to a hospital where you get everything, I think, for free.
Yeah, it sounds like Kazakhstan is quite prepared. What city are you in?
Almaty.
I'm unfortunately very unaware of the geography of Kazakhstan, but yeah. Is there a capital or a main city in Kazakhstan?
The capital is Astana. I think they renamed it into Nazarbayev.
Okay. Very interesting. Another key point I kind of want to hit on is the media. In America, the media has been, I would say, overwhelming. It's just the only thing that anyone is talking about, and it's kind of, it feels like it's just scary and not comforting at all. Like, it's not what news should be in my mind. In my mind, news should be informative, concrete, information. And today it just feels like there's a lot of opinion pieces and kind of just a lot of stuff being thrown out into the air. I'm curious what your experience in Kazakhstan has been with, paper news, TV, like websites and stuff like that.
I don't think anybody buys paper anymore. But on the TV, yes, yeah. On the TV, yes. It's funny because we hear more news from Europe or America or China, but at least I haven't seen anything from here. I mean, we read news, we hear it. I'm pretty sure they show it all over. I would say people are panicking. Yeah, they're definitely panicking. And they actually stole this trend of buying toilet paper. I was so ashamed. I was terribly ashamed when I saw those people buying toilet paper. And I didn't say anything, though. Those people are not in their right mind.
Yeah, we've had that issue here in America. It's just panic buying, and I think that's just kind of echoing throughout the world as it starts to become a more serious situation everywhere.
Yeah, but there is something very interesting. People are making fun of it. There are endless jokes about how we were waiting for coronavirus to come, and it finally came because we invited it. There are a lot of jokes about, like, in 2 weeks, my mask will be too small for me because everybody's sitting home and eating. Yeah, actually, honestly, it is true. I think in 2 weeks, my mask will be too small for me. All I do is eat.
All right. So as we start to wrap up, I want to ask you, what do you think the future will hold for this situation?
Well, I believe we will recover from the outbreak. It'll take some time, but it's not an apocalypse that everybody's preparing for. People will mourn their losses. It's going to be terrible, but we will recover. And hopefully we will be preparing for another outbreak because it is coming. But the thing is, in a few months, yeah.
And I was going to ask and for you as well, your future with, like, whether you're going to go back to China and just kind of finish up all that stuff.
I think I have to. I mean, it's 3 months. It's 3 months and I got my paper. I can go anywhere. It's just maybe not this year.
And you were saying before?
It is scary.
Before I cut you off. You said in the coming months.
Just thought... Yeah, in the coming months, people will start paying attention to their personal and environmental hygiene.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it's always been.
That's an interesting point. It's right now, everyone is so focused on washing your hands and being very, very on point about the CDC and, the World Health Organization's guidelines or advice. And you think that will kind of just fall to the wayside eventually?
Yeah, that's why I think another outbreak is coming.
Yeah, people say that this will just happen again. Coronavirus will probably happen again next flu season. Have you heard that, or you have any thoughts?
I'm not. I believe that something else will happen, but I'm not sure if that's going to be coronavirus.
Okay.
It might be another bacteria, something else.
Okay, Elina, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real good help.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing my story.
Of course.
It's not just mine. It's all international students in China.
It's good to know.
Or just international students.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Let's stay in touch.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Boom. That's it. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this podcast valuable, there are many ways you can support it. The best way is by going to my website, observingtheprocess.com. For just $5 a month or $50 for the year, you can become a monthly supporter. This show relies on listener support to stay on the air, so if you find this content valuable, I hope you will consider subscribing. You can find a link to subscribe in the description of this podcast. If you can't support monthly, no worries. You can help out by rating and reviewing on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. You can share it with your friends, you can blog about it, or discuss it on your own podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you for supporting the show. Listeners like you make it possible. If you are looking for information on how to protect yourself and stay safe from COVID-19, please get information from the CDC or the World Health Organization. Also, if you enjoyed the intro and outro music, it was made by my brother, Danny Greenberg. You can go and check out his beats on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, or SoundCloud. He goes by the name Estoric, Estoric. All right, that's it for now.
This podcast was recorded on March 26, 2020.